here. Why does it always happen? How we doing, chat? Mic on. Happy Monday. First of the month. March 1st, 2021. Couple of days away from the NBA All-Star break. Little week of reprieval, rest, recharge, recovery, maybe a little familiar time, and then a little spring training, right? Brush up on our MLB spreadsheets, our research, and then we'll restart the party and get it going to have baseball and basketball on top of each other from April through June, right? It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm to the bone. A lot of work, a lot of streams, a lot of content, but it is a glorious time. How we do last night? You guys do all right? Last night, pretty much that Kings-Hornets game was what we thought it was, but Terry Rozier, right? But Terry Rozier on FanDuel thought he would be an excellent play, but really that little medium shooting guard range, Terry Rozier, Eric Gordon, like the guy that we were like the most skittish on was Buddy Hield, and he was the best. So gotta love it. I will say the ownership in that game wasn't as high as I thought it would be overall. Like I thought that was the easiest spot ever to attack it. PJ Washington, 66.25 fantasy points. He was the highest scoring fantasy player on the slate. Giannis Antetokounmpo's game happened in the daytime. And then we had a couple guys that really didn't crack a whole bunch of my lineups, knocking on the door to player pool. Bradley Beal at 62, Devin Booker with 58, John Collins against Miami front court 58, and Julius Randle 51, Jason Tatum 51. I did have plenty of Tatum and Kemba Walker, but when I saw what Booker, Collins, and Beal did, I was like, man, I might have a lot of responsibility in this last game between the Kings and Hornets, but they delivered, so I ended up being just fine. Boston wins a nail-biter by 1 point over Washington, and that continues, I believe, an 11-game streak of Bradley Beal and the Wizards losing when he scores over 40 real points. Quite the record to have. Celtics were without Jaylen Brown, so Tatum, Kemba Walker, both combined for 94 fantasy points. Daniel Tice joined the party as well. Nice three-man stack if you got there. Knicks smoking the Nets by 19 points. Dennis Smith Jr. in his revenge, 27 minutes, 30 fantasy points. Really no one else was worth having, but I did have some Isaiah Stewart. And once again, Isaiah Stewart, I swear he arrives, leaves, and drops 20 fantasy points. Did it again here. Julius Randle, 38 minutes. Nerlens Noel, 40 minutes. These are both night two of back-to-back after playing similar minutes the night before. And then Derrick Rose, 32 minutes. So he took a step backwards minute-wise, but he did redeem himself after a rocky first run with almost a point per minute and 30 fantasy points. So we'll take that. Memphis blows out the Rockets. Rockets are looking a little bit rough. No one was really worth going out of your way from on the Grizzlies. I guess Desmond Bane, if you had a time machine, got you 10x, and D'Anthony Melton in the mix as well. I did have some Justice Winslow, solid value play there. Rockets was yucky. Mason Jones, 20, Jason Tate, 22. Like, the highest fantasy scorer on a team is almost never 22 fantasy points. Like, that's incredibly low. Eric Gordon was one of the more popular plays here. He shot 1 for 10, 0 for 5 from 3, and got you single-digit fantasy points on DraftKings. Not what you want. Lakers smacking on the Golden State Warriors. I think the Lakers had 40 real points in the first quarter, so because of the blowout, wasn't really able to complete fantasy games for guys like LeBron. But if you had some Kuzma, it paid off. If you had Keefe and Caruso, congrats. Eric Pascal, Juan Toscano Anderson, both 2 of 4 Warriors to score over 20 fantasy points. Weird game that turned out to be Miami without Jimmy Butler hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Bam Adebayo. I love this assist prop, but he made me sweat it. I had him over 4.5. He got to 5. Kendrick Nunn had 7. Those two combined for 90 fantasy points. Precious Achua got in the mix. I did have some Dragic, but no one else was really worth having. And then the Phoenix Suns catch the Timberwolves on night 2 of a back-to-back, and Devin Booker does what Devin Booker does, drop 40 plus real points. Chris Paul with a 40 plus, and DeAndre Ayton knocked on the door of a 40. So you could have, you could have 3-man stacked the Suns and had a solid table set. Then of course the main event, 127 to 126, 1-point game. This game was the focus, the core, the heart, the backbone of much of my lineups last night, and it drove home strong. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. PJ Washington, one of my highest owned players, 42 real points in 42 minutes. LaMelo Ball just about 50. Malik Monk 32, which it was hard to have the warm and fuzzies of 5.3K, knowing that Eric Gordon and guys like that existed. But he was a solid play, and just from pinching fantasy points, outscoring guys like Derrick Rose, Goran Dragic, he becomes like a much more elite pivot and leverage play. Miles Bridges, 31. Terry Rozier was the big letdown here, 17 fantasy points. And I was expecting a bounce back minute-wise for Biyombo. I got that, but didn't get the bounce back fantasy point-wise. And on the Kings side, Buddy Hield, the guy we were most skittish on, right? Our irony dropped the most fantasy points for the Kings with Bagley, Fox, Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes. Every single Kings starter got there. So if you guys loaded up on that game, if you were in chat, you probably did with a couple pivots in tournaments. You should have been all right. So that was last night. Moving on to tonight, we have a lot of fun games to kind of break down. I think we only have 3 slates before the All-Star break, so we gotta make them count, right? We gotta make them count. I'm gonna get Raj in the mix for the yo-yo. Here.
Yo.
How we doing?
Another day, another grind. Yesterday was so tilting because everything was on point, except for just a one-off from the Lakers and Houston game. The game stack came through. It was tilting.
Yeah. Terry Rozier on FanDuel, bro. Oh, so sick.
Oh yeah, such a nice. That's the, and I had a lot of Terry and Eric Gordon pairings because they worked well together. And yeah, it just did not work out. Did not get to enough Beal and Booker clearly.
I'm not over. I don't really care about Booker. I don't know. Bill and Booker were fine, but like the way that my lineups were constructed, I just balanced that money between Melo or whatever. It was really what like prevented greatness for me was one, Biyombo was a little underwhelming. I got the minutes right, got the production wrong. Terry Rozier, obviously. Eric Gordon dropped a nugget.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Harrell was trash too. He only got 11 minutes. I don't know why they won't give him minutes.
Well, yeah. It's a blowout.
Even a blowout, I don't get it. They're not giving minutes in a real game. They're not giving minutes in a blowout. What are you doing?
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell. I still had more Holmes than Harrell, but I thought Harrell in a vacuum, there's a range of outcomes where he could outscore Rashawn Holmes there, but he didn't get the minutes. I
don't get what the
fine. Yeah. Anyway, let me get caught up on chat. What's up, chat? Wake up, chat. Drop a yurt in chat. We got 40 viewers and like 3 people talking. Let's wake up. Get it started. Guys, if you got your bang, got your coffee, got your energy drink, your Monster Zeros, whatever.
Let us know about your weekend.
You get them going. Yeah, how'd you guys do? That's Earth to Air. What's up, Earth? Darren. What up, Darren? Yurt. Pinstripe Pimp. Green and Jonas Valanciunas. That was one. I didn't have it. Well, I might have had him like as a tier 3. But I didn't have it as like high concentrate. But I saw like Chronic losing his mind. He got in ridiculous foul trouble. The dude had like 4 fouls in like his first 9 minutes or something incredible like that. Yeah. That's tough. Lorenza, what's up, my brother? Get some of that Vooch and Embiid at home. I'm with it. What's up, Damien? Yo, what up, Gun? My highest line got 330.2. Dragic, Walker, Booker, Gordon. Robinson, R.J. Barrett, P.J. Washington, Adebayo, and Karl Anthony Towns, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. What up, great filibuster, bad weekend, didn't catch one dang day. Got to turn it around this month. Let's get it, bro. New month. Spring showers. Fading Charlotte players from here on out. Fading Charlotte players?
Nah, you don't want to do that.
I think Terry Rozier was the only guy that crippled
Didn't
you.
get
Maybe Biombo, but like, yeah, there was plenty of juice in Charlotte
Bounce back to
yesterday.
Terry today, though.
Pete says, thank you. I played 100%. PJ Buddy and Herter, you brought up the stat where the Heat give up the second most threes besides Charlotte. That a boy, Pete. Let's go, Pete.
Herter was the play over Eric Gordon. That was a good call.
A lot of people was the play over Eric Gordon. The reason we were like exploring guys like Herter though was people were skittish on Buddy Hield, right? Buddy Hield is consistently inconsistent. People were like, I don't want to play Buddy. I don't want to play Buddy. I was like, well,
he came through as well.
Here's some pivots, but Buddy Hield was the highest scoring king. Like
the King's whole starting lineup came through.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it got there. Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Damien says I'm about to get my purple haze bang and get the slate cracking. Let's go. Yo, purple haze, very tasty. I got black cherry per usual. Black cherry vanilla. You know how we do.
They had to name it Purple Haze because they couldn't get that copyright for Purple Rain.
No, I don't know if you know what purple haze references, but okay.
Oh, the Mary Jane. But we just call it weed here.
Yeah, it's normal. We don't mask it.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't.
It's just
I don't partake in.
You go to the store and just be like, hey, can I get a couple grams? And they'd be like, which flavor? Which strand?
All right, is your mic fully exposed to your mouth?
Check 1, 2. No, it's against my sweater.
I don't know. It felt like you were a little muffled. Like I heard what you're saying, but I didn't know if it was me or not. Yeah, so let's look at some of the news and notes to get us started into today's slate. First of all, Fantasy Labs. Where's that 3 p.m. Fantasy Labs tweet? Man, check it. I'll refresh real quick. What up, Dez? Yeah. Raj is weird. Raj doesn't get it.
You just don't use that lingo.
Yo, Raj is the biggest nerd I know, and he's like,
biggest nerd.
You jumped in chat yesterday like a high school sophomore. Guys, guess what I just did?
Yeah, let's go. Shout out Gushers. A little edible Gushers.
I took some edibles. Like you're like, okay, we're big boys here. Key news to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern. Joel Embiid questionable. Tobias Harris questionable. Malcolm Brogdon questionable. John Wall, night 2 of a back-to-back, could potentially rest here and maybe trade spots with Victor Oladipo. Kristaps Porzingis probable. Gordon Hayward and Cody Zeller remain doubtful on night 2 of their back-to-back. Jeff Green questionable. Eric Gordon questionable. Anything else that came out? No, that's pretty much it. We know Devontae's going to be out of there for this one. So those are some table setters, right? Those are some big names. If Embiid and Tobias Harris, one or the other, if not both, are out, that's going to create incredible opportunity for supplementary players, incredible usage bump for Ben Simmons. If Malcolm Brogdon misses, TJ McConnell just came off a 40-minute game in Brogdon's absence. And then, of course, spin the wheel, make a deal with the Rockets, right? Did they decide to play basketball today, right? On paper, it's the Cavs, but, man, I don't know. Rockets looking like just like a traveling, keep them warmed up team for trades right now. It's tough. And then, of course, if Gordon Hayward, Zeller are out again, we run it back on some P.J. Washington to get another fun matchup against the Blazers. If Jeff Green doesn't play, you might expect deeper minutes for like a Bruce Brown. And then if Eric Gordon doesn't play and Wall doesn't play, you might see Depot in the gang, and then maybe like Sterling Brown, David Awaba, guys like that step up in a lateral at best, but probably a little bit softer on paper matchup than yesterday. I don't know. Rockets are just looking tough. Raj, go listen to Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze.
I know
or Killer Cam album. I like how Raj really thought that they were trying to rip off Prince.
I mean, that'd be a great thing to do. Imagine calling a drink Purple Rain. Use a Prince image on it.
I feel like there probably is something out there like that. I know there's a rain energy drink company. There's like all kinds of pop up energy drinks. Like that's a weird business to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I want to be in the energy drink market.
You gotta try. You gotta try 3D Energy, and that's the fastest growing energy drink in the market right now.
And every drink is we're the fastest growing energy drink
Oh
company.
no, I think these guys are legit.
Dude, I had this one energy drink company. They reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and I don't know. I don't know if they saw me tweet about Bang or something on Twitter, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking for influencers to partner with." And I was like, I don't know. I guess like I chat. Y'all would be surprised how much I turned down for this stuff. Like I've talked about. I've probably taken 2 DFS site sponsorships out of like 20 opportunities in the last, I don't know, 7 years. But anyway, I was like, I'd give it a shot, right? It'd be nice to have I saw their ingredients, whatever, is like no calories, no sugar. I was like, I'd give it a shot. And they were like, all right, cool. We're glad to see you're interested. All you have to do is buy the 70% off starter kit and test it out. I was like, wait a minute, you come at me, you want to buy it? And then I was just like, yeah, I'm not replying to this. Go move on. But yeah, there's all kinds of gimmicks to try and get energy drinks off the floor lately, man. That seems like a rough market to try and.
Yeah, not optimal. But I mean, you know what? Next big thing, NFT energy drinks, virtual energy drinks.
Dude, NFTs.
That's what people gotta do. Bro, you see Logan Paul selling? He literally opened cards of Pokemon and was selling each image like NFT. They're going for like $5,000 a piece, and he sold out. Literally clips of him opening packs. Nuts! It's absolutely nuts. He probably made like a cool $500,000 just off opening like this box set, and each individual card, just the image of it was an NFT, and he sold it.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm in the space to make money, right? Like I'm on Top Shots. There was an interesting thread in the Top Shot Discord, if you check that out, or the Top Shot channel, about how each transaction could potentially be taxed once everything's settled. I'm like, man,
100%. Because I mean, right now,
it's gonna create such a black market.
Oh yeah. Like one piece of art, just NFT sold. I think it's the highest, most ever, 6.6 million just yesterday or today morning. Art, and then I mean, the one thing is, this does open the door for extreme money laundering. Oh, extreme money laundering.
Yeah.
At the highest levels, with the amount of money that's transferring, it's it definitely opens that door for a while. So they'll regulate it quick, I think, as this money just keeps pouring in.
It's a wild time to be alive. Damien says, I just made this trade in my season-long Miles Turner and Dennis Schroeder, me, for Derrick Rose and Victor Oladipo.
Interesting. Is it 9 cat or just like total points?
Man, I feel like Turner and Schroeder, man, those are everyday players. Turner's going to, if it's 9 categories, Turner's definitely going to give you some blocks to fill up that one. Schroeder's whatever. Derrick Rose I like, but Depot, like, what's best case scenario for Depot? Half the rest of the games at this rate? He, like, doesn't play as, like, I don't know, man. That's interesting. Purple Haze Bang tastes great. It's very tasty. Bang does have some tasty product. I'm just really enamored by the black cherry vanilla, but I wouldn't mind expanding on some other flavors. I hear cotton candy is interesting. I like the cherry blade lemonade. Man, I got that one by surprise one day. I wasn't a giant fan. Peach mango, blue raz. Blue raz is good. I have a massive idea for NFT, but I had this idea for the NFT trend. I'm going to sell NFT sites, I just want to. It's so crazy. Shooting percentage is accounted for 9 categories. So shooting percentage. Well, I guess Miles Turner does chuck a bunch of threes. And like, when you want centers for shooting percentage, but yeah, Turner's a little different. Anyway, guys, what do you say we start talking about some basketball for this wonderful Monday, March 1st, 2021. Game number 1 tonight. The Orlando Magic hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Project starting 5, Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Kristaps Porzingis taking on Michael Carter-Williams, Evan Fournier, Dwayne Bacon, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Nikola Vucevic. We got a 221 total, a 6-point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic, 10.6K, 10.7K, respectively, FanDuel and DraftKings. And Porzingis sitting right around the 8K range on both sites in a fun little matchup. Obviously, we want 45-ish from Porzingis on a big tournament slate like this, and Luka just has to be a top 3 high-scoring player on the slate for fantasy. On the Magic side, if we expect this game to stay competitive, I'm looking at guys like Evan Fournier to hit his shots. I'm looking at guys like Terrence Ross to deliver, and then, of course, most importantly and most emphatically, Nikola Vucevic. We talked. Somebody mentioned him being at home. You like that? He's about 10K on both sides. I got him projected for about 50 fantasy points. And I don't know that there's many teams that rely on one player having a good basketball game more than the Orlando Magic right now, right? You just don't see many ranges of outcomes where the Magic stay competitive and Vucevic sucks. Like, it is that strapped, and he's just leading them to fights, leading them to stay competitive. Dropped 34 real points on the Utah Jazz, 8 rebounds. That's nothing to brush off up against Rudy Gobert. Let's go pull up the Orlando Magic on-off court tool, and now with a little bit deeper sample size, we take off Aaron Gordon. We have no James Ennis today as well, right? We take off the Cole Anthony and then Markelle Fultz, right? Let's just take these cats off. Let's put Vooch on. And we're going to wind up with 237 minutes of sample size, 19 games now. Vooch has a 32.2% usage rate. And that's elite levels with over a fantasy point per minute, a 24% assist rate, a 19% rebound rate. I mean, this guy is statistically one of the better plays on average that you'll see. So you have to go up there and pay for him at 10K, and you need that 50 fantasy points. But I guess long story short here is if we're going to play some Mavericks, you want to correlate it with a game staying competitive. And if this game's going to stay competitive, it's likely going to be on the back of Vucevic. So I don't mind looking at Vooch. I did think that Vooch would get some points off on Gobert because Vooch has the ability to shoot jumpers and shoot threes. And I feel like you take Gobert further and further away from the rim as an elite rim protector, then your propensity to have a better game goes up. And I do believe Vooch chucked quite a bit of threes that game. He took 7 threes on Utah, but that's normal. 7, 8, 6. So yeah, Vooch is in the pool. Obviously at this price point, it's not a high priority. He's priced to where we need 50. But I do think if we're trying to grab pieces of this game, he's the first Magic I need to project to have a good game. And then Fournier and Terrence Ross. I don't really dabble with anyone else here with such great other games on the slate. A couple guys in and out potentially. I don't really want to overexpose myself to this game. And I would probably say even if I got the Luka, Porzingis, Vucevic, Fournier, I probably put all those guys into tier 3 anyway. Raj, disagree, agree? Anybody here that you're loving to start the slate with?
Yeah, this game's not going to be a priority for me. Some higher totals on the slate, so this is definitely not going to be a one that I focus on. But you mentioned Vooch, 10-2. That 10K price tag, he's probably my least favorite 10K guy. But he can get you 50 plus here, not a problem. Against Dallas, no one there to guard him in their front court. Porzingis has been really bad defensively this year. It seems like he's limited by that knee injury he's still recovering from. So even if he guards him, shouldn't be a problem for Vooch. Dropped 58 against him last time. No Fournier in that game, but 50 spot is there, so you can have some of him. I think Fournier at 6'7" on DK definitely has some meat on the bone there. Plays a little point guard, probably needs to score 20 real-life points, but his game stay close, I'd assume. So, at 6'7", again, I don't love the play, but if you want him in the pool, don't hate it. And Dallas side, Luka at 10-7. He's not 11K plus anymore, so 10K price tag should be good for 50 plus again. Don't hate it. It's a slow pace against Orlando. Porzingis, I don't think I get to any Porzingis today. A2, it's there. There's other guys I like more, so if I don't get any Porzingis today, I'm not overthinking it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Chat, you guys get anybody from this game? You have to have, right? You have to have 30, 40, 50% of this one. Luka's the least intriguing, right? Anytime I feel like I'm under ambitious on Luka. Like, is that when I want Luka? I don't know. Maybe the Philly
A 70 game is coming. Like that big 70 bomb is coming.
Yeah, in the Magic matchup, it's neutral. It's just like so
Yeah.
today when I first opened the slate and just like looked at today, the name that popped at me for foreshadowing was Damian Lillard, right? Like he's at home against the Hornets. Such a and their defense is bad enough to keep that game competitive. I just felt like at 10-4, I was like, yeah, I was probably gonna get that 50+ out of Damian Lillard. But I guess if you think about it, he's only $300 cheaper than Luka. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Dame's just kind of resonating with me early on. Let's get caught up on chat here, see what you guys got on this one. What's up, Crispy? Right on time for the Bang promo. Yes, sir. I told you, Gun, Vooch plays a lot better at home. I don't care about the matchup. Last night proved it. I mean, we can put an actual number on his home road splits. Which at home he's actually averaging less fantasy points per game at home, but it's only by 1 than on the road. He did drop 58 against Dallas earlier this season. And in that game, he had 15 rebounds, and that was during a stretch, I believe, where Dallas was getting just ransacked by opposing centers. So, Vooch is Vooch, man. We put him in the mix where he falls, but I'm probably start him at the tier 3, right? These are guys that I think can give us that just beautiful raw point potential, 50, 60 fantasy points, but at their price points, I kind of need that. So, tier 1s are just kind of guys I feel like are underpriced or guys that will easily hit and exceed value, whereas Vooch, there's a range of outcomes where 50's 50, and it doesn't mean a whole lot at that price point. Like the other day, where Cat dropped 50, and then like Vooch and B dropped 60, 70. So he's in the mix, but he's not like a priority, right? I like Fournier the most from this game, a good price against a good matchup. So the Mavericks do allow a decent chunk of points via the 3-ball. I believe when Kleber and Porzingis are at their best, they're a little tougher defensively than they get credit for. So I do think some of these mid-range jumpers, Evan Fournier, Terrence Ross, have a chip in a chair. I think the price point on both these guys, maybe T. Ross on FanDuel is a little bit more approachable, but I think the price point is appropriate. So I just don't feel like I'm getting a fantastic deal with those two, right? Canner is the no-brainer on FanDuel. I like Canner for sure. Looking forward to the All-Star break just in a few days to reset and readjust. Lillard's yes, the Blazers have lost 4 straight. I'm with that. 420-foot homer by Gary. Gary's homer went over the batter's eye. It was beautiful. Dead center, by the way. Love to see it. Like those bum Blue Jays. He's muted. I'm taking
Check
shots.
1, 2.
Your mic was muted. I'm taking shots, bro.
That's fine. Oh man.
Gary Sanchez, the best catcher in the AL East.
You
can't even name your catcher. Shut up.
I can't. I don't even know our catcher. No. Who's our catcher this year? I'm curious.
This guy, Yankees grand slam today by Gittins. Guys that don't make the once like when I saw the starting line, it was like, all right, I want to see Gary's at bat. I think Hicksy had it at bat. I guess Tyler Wade will make.
We got Danny Jansen back.
Yeah, get out. Of
Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, okay, names.
Yeah, not our strongest suit, but let's not act like we don't have a nice core.
Bunch of
core
bums.
5, 6 bats. Yeah, all right. One of the best lineups in the league. Top 5 offense in the league this year.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Top 5.
Easy.
Maybe y'all get that ridiculous baby Little League Park again. Sure.
I mean, whatever works. Top 5 offense.
Yeah, I mean, neutralize it. No, if you guys have the most hitter-friendly park in baseball, sure.
Coming from a Yankee fan who has like the shortest left field in the history of baseball.
And 90% of our lineup is right-handed, and they like to go opposite field. So, suck it. Indiana Pacers at the Philadelphia 76ers. Projected starting 5: Malcolm Brogdon, Justin Holiday, Doug McDermott, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner taking on Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. We got 223 total, a 4.5-point spread in favor of the home team, Philadelphia 76ers. So this can go so many different ways. We'll start with the Pacers. First of all, Malcolm Brogdon is officially listed as questionable. He missed that last game, which was night 2 of a back-to-back. He's dealing with right knee soreness. He was upgraded from out to questionable. He sat out Saturday, which was the back end of a back-to-back for the Pacers. He'll probably be a game-time decision for this one. If he's unable to go, TJ McConnell is in a revenge game, and he's coming off a spot where he played 40 minutes in Brogdon's absence. So 40 minutes is kind of a lot to put on somebody, but it's potentially there again for him. Jeremy Lamb dealing with a knee injury. He's also questionable. He was another reason why TJ McConnell played 40 minutes that last game, because he was only able to go 12 minutes with that knee soreness. So we'll see if he's able to suit this one up. On the Sixers side, both Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris have a Q tag on them. Tobias Harris missed that last game. He's dealing with a right knee bruise. An MRI has ruled out any structural damage for Harris, and it's encouraging that Philly would consider playing him even with the All-Star break looming. And then Joel Embiid, questionable with a sprained left ankle. He played through a tweaked ankle on Saturday. He was absolutely dominant, but it's possible the ankle swelled up afterwards, and his status will depend on how it reacts to shoot-around or pregame warm-up. So we are at that time of year, Raj, right before the All-Star break, where some teams will look to rest the guys and kind of, instead of taking one game off or 2 games off, that bleeds into the week-long break from the All-Star break, and then now you're giving some people 2 weeks off. So some of these mid to high-tier role players kind of strike me as guys that I want to think a little bit deeper about. Organizations be a little bit more lenient with, 1, their minutes, and 2, just giving them a game off. With that said, Joel Embiid's kind of got like this MVP race going on. And what is the rule? Do you have to play the last game before the All-Star break, or nah? Is that not a thing? I thought that's something to make you eligible. But with that information looming, this is one of those games where you got to be that homicide detective and string it on the wall, right? So if Brogdon's in, he's a solid play no matter what. You're looking for 40+. If he's out, TJ McConnell is at 6,100 on both sides. We're wanting the north side of 30 fantasy points. But if he's going to get a high volume of minutes, 35, 38 to 40+, again, depending on Jeremy Lamb, he would gravitate towards the front of the lineup for me in terms of interest. If Joel Embiid is out, that's going to bring the Sixers' defensive efficiency backwards a little bit, and maybe I could take a closer, longer look at the front court against them. Sabonis, Miles Turner, right? If both Harris and Embiid are out, you might be looking at Dwight Howard, guys like Mike Scott, Ben Simmons could play the 4, Matisse Thybulle, guys like that. So this game could go so many different ways that hopefully we have this information with ample amount of time to adjust. It is a game that starts at lock. So I think we'll be able to adjust. Thankfully, it's not like a 9 p.m. game. But yeah, if Embiid and Harris are out, I guess we'll put some math behind it. Let's pull up the on-off court tool over at Fantasy Labs. First of all, if it's Tobias Harris out, Joel Embiid in, this is the phone with DKP by game log without Tobias Harris last 10 games. I believe we pulled up only one game in the last 10 before the last start where Embiid dropped less than 50. And the one game where he dropped less than 50 without Tobias Harris was a 24-minute performance against the Atlanta Hawks where he dropped essentially 42. Everything else is just like 50s and 60s. So if we get Embiid and Tobias out, I'm right back on the Embiid train and hope he can live up to the history here. If Embiid is out, we go to this on-off court tool, and let's just only take Embiid off, not play with anything else. Usage-wise, okay, Shake Milton. I forgot they had that stretch of games where the whole team was out. Let's put Ben Simmons on, Joel Embiid off the court, just to kind of narrow that down just a little bit. Ben Simmons is at 23% usage rate, about a fantasy point per minute. Tobias Harris goes up to 27%. So Tobias Harris, that might be a fun opposite query. Tobias Harris, DKP by game log without Joel Embiid last 10 games. I think I'm the fastest typer in DFS. You think is that a Is that a flex? Tobias Harris 58, a bunch of 30s, 40s. So his is not as astonishing or impressive. And Ben Simmons is 9K on FanDuel, 8,800 on DraftKings.
I mean, if Joel Embiid sits, I think you just have to play those two guys. They're both in.
Right.
Decent matchup. The usage will be there. I mean, they come through for the most part. Even their floor games tend to be like they might just get there. So Tobias Harris at 7-9 minor, they get you 41 DK, which is fine. You definitely want like a 50 in tournaments, but you'll take that. Wouldn't get too cute with it. TJ McConnell, Malcolm Brogdon's out. I want to lock in, and I think about like Ben Simmons' defense, and I could see some downside at his price.
I think the mismatch, like that's a horrendous mismatch in terms of size and speed.
I mean, Ben Simmons isn't slow. I think Ben Simmons could. I mean, Ben Simmons has been holding some guys down.
TJ McConnell's small. He'll fly right by it. But McConnell's not like you're not expecting McConnell to drop 30 real points. He's just gonna have like 15 assists, rebounds. Like he's scrappy.
Yeah. I mean, so at 6'1", I mean, I think there is some downside. I mean, he'll probably still be, if Brogdon's out, a tier 1 type of play. Don't expect 46 minutes again. I mean, that game went to overtime, right, against New York?
No.
Why did he play 46 minutes?
Exactly. That was regulation. Both coaches fell asleep. Thibodeau's squad had there's 3 of them playing 40 minutes, and the Pacers were just out there. And with Lamb down and no Brogdon, he just let McConnell stay on the court.
He rode them. All right. I mean, hey, if you're gonna play that minutes, yeah, he might end up being a tier 1 play. Sabonis is a guy that's just been so tough to get to at this 10K price tag. Great play, but I mean his floor last game 35. I mean his floor.
I think if Embiid is out, Sabonis is a much better play than publicly perceived. I think this becomes a really, really fun spot. I mean, just looking at that on-off court tool, the team defensive rating goes to 117.1 with Simmons on, Embiid off. And generally speaking, we expect the Philadelphia 76ers to be a solid defense. They have 109.4 defensive rating. That's points per 100 possessions. And if you take Toby off the mix as well, if there's a range of outcomes where Toby and Embiid are off, this Sixers defense just goes way backwards. You're leaning on some elder statesmen, Dwight Howard's and Seth Curry's, guys like that. So I definitely think the matchup would be exponentially greater than perceived because of, or potentially because of, a Toby or Embiid being down. But I think we all understand this is a connected dots based on news game. There's no other way to put it, right? We're just exploring outcomes of given numbers.
Yeah, wait till 6:30 when you get the news and just adjust. If everyone's in, I mean, I think Embiid is still a fine play, but wouldn't be a core guy target. But at 10-6, I still think there's upside there for Embiid just to have a big game. But TJ McConnell might end up being the best play of this game if everyone's in. Except Brogdon, I mean.
I like TJ McConnell a lot. TJ does have a history with Philly. Matter of fact, Dez says, I love McConnell whether he starts or not. I live in Philly, and what we know is how much Philly means to McConnell. Philly loves TJ, but he'll get up for this game. I think he'll get up, but we got to understand, 6,100, I need 35, and a lot of times that could be his ceiling unless we inflate it with a reason for more. And I think the reason for more would be if Malcolm Brogdon can't play, then we hope that we get a 35-plus minute out of TJ, and he'll go above and beyond. By the way, there's a home-road split debate in chat. I do think that there is something to be said when players get in front of their fans and play.
I mean, without fans, though.
But yes, but half the league is playing without fans, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a kind of a noisy debate at this point. I'm hoping to play some Howard if Embiid is out, says Mark. Just because they're at home. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Mark says, I'm an idiot. I played Jonas Valanciunas in cash last night. Ouch. He just got in foul trouble. It is what it is. It's going to happen. People get in foul trouble. It ruins your night. Jonas Valanciunas just had a ridiculous, if we go look at the popcorn machine here, just for funsies, Memphis and Houston. And then they blew out. It was worst case scenario for J-Val. It's not It was a bad play pre-flop. So Jonas Valanciunas, first 5 minutes he picked up 1, and then in the second quarter he picked up. Is this from last night? Yeah, he picked up first stretch he picked up 1, and then in the second quarter he picked up 3 fouls in like a 3-minute stretch. So he went to half with 4 fouls. Then he comes out, picks up another foul. So he has 5 fouls in 12 minutes of playtime, and then they just blew out. So it was tough, right? But I wouldn't blame yourself because he was Mr. 40, and the Rockets front court still undersized. So the matchup's still pristine, but it's bad luck, bro. Russ says these Russ novel posts may have you beat. We finally have Russ in the chat. I was trying to show Russ off the other night. Chat, let's get some love here. We got almost 100 people. What was it 3 nights ago now? Russ dropped a big one. Took down $100,000.
Bang bang.
Let me see if I can pull him up. We appreciate it, Russ.
Drop 100Ks, dropping paragraphs in the Discord. Russ out here with the picks, guys.
No, Russ is a beautiful mind. He's the game theory master. I think this is the link to it. Let me pull it up. So there we go. Russ in the 5-5-5 on the 26, y'all. Y'all show him some love. Kyle Lowry with the 58. SGA with the 38. He had a snowflake. Harrison Barnes, 33%. Dropped 48 for Russ. PJ Washington, 43. Chris Boucher with the 26. That was the night where Siakam got rolled out, I believe. De'Aaron Fox, 47. Draymond with 19 assists, got him to 61. And then Isaiah Stewart, that was the night where Bismack Biyombo was chalk against the Warriors, I believe, and he didn't even start. Isaiah Stewart got 25 and a quarter. So big Russ, the big Russ Miller, 100,000 reasons to enjoy some Isaiah Stewart love. And then Russ, Russ, I don't know. Should we? Russ messaged me. One of the things he's gonna do, I don't know if he wants to announce it or not, but he's gonna just know he's gonna spread the love. Just like when Always Be Placing won the Millie Maker for us in December, he spread the love. So Russ is going to roll that back and show you guys a little bit of a fun time too. Just watch, just wait. DeAndre Jordan's a lock if Jeff Green's out. Yep. Giuliano Gunn, do we just plug in Murray tonight on FanDuel point guard? Deontay? I think he's fine, right? How do you get in foul trouble against the bum Houston team? There's no threat to foul. Yeah, that's rough. Fouls on pick and rolls against the drivers doesn't have to be against the person you're guarding. Yeah, it's fouls are so And then I didn't watch every single foul specifically, but you know how referees can be with their whistles. But this is tough. That's tough luck. I tend to go light on the next night on a young player like PJ Washington coming off a beast night back-to-back and raise price of 500. I think the minutes and matchup will still be a plus enough for me to run back some PJ. Yeah, Russ did it. Yo, Russ, the Russ sweats are great. I remember one night in baseball, we were sweating baseball, and what was it, Russ? You had the late great Luis Valbuena, God rest his soul, had hit a homer, and Russ was like in the mix. He was already on cloud 9, like competing, and then Luis Valbuena came up and hit another homer, like he double donged for you, and it just like chat went nuts because holy run good Batman, and to see him win one of the big ones here. The next one on the list for Russ is the Millie Maker, right? There's nothing else. You gotta win the Millie Maker now. So go on, do your thing. What's the DFS dreams come true, Russ? Yeah. So Russ joins. I think we got 4 or 5 guys in our Discord now that have 100K wins. Plus we have the Millie Maker winner. So
we're gonna add one soon, team. We're gonna add one soon.
We need more. We need other people to step up, win the 100K, represent Isaiah Stewart won me. Yeah, and Russ called his shot on Isaiah Stewart too, by the way. That wasn't 100%. Some click it. Russ was like, everyone's on Plumlee. Isaiah Stewart's getting 20 minutes. Yeah. Like he got like 8-ball corner pocket. He called it. So shout out to Russ. Miller time all the time. Is there? Um, where were we? Let's move on to the next game, guys. This is one of the more news intensive spots, right? Let me ask you this: if Brogdon's in 7-7 on FanDuel, 8-1 on DraftKings, are you finding any room for him in a slate that, if we're going to the 8 to 9K ish area, where we might be looking at like a LaMelo at 8-7, a couple $100 more?
Yeah, he's not going to be a tier 1 for sure, but I think like a tier 3, they're still upside at that price. Should be a competitive game, but if everyone plays, I mean, again, this is not one of the premier games going to target on the slate.
I New Orleans Pelicans hosting the Utah Jazz. Project starting five for the Jazz: Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, Rudy Gobert, taking on Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Stone Cold Steven Adams. Gonna give you one board. What? We got a 7-point spread in favor of the visiting Utah Jazz. And here we go. Two of the slowest paced teams in basketball. However, one team plays significantly less defense than the other. So, spread-wise, it seems like it can get a little bit lopsided, but it might take some time to get that way because of how slow in pace both teams are. The Pelicans have a defensive rating in contrast to their pace that almost makes no sense. The second worst defensive rating in basketball, with a pace rating of 98.6, which puts them as a bottom 10 team in pace. So a great matchup to pick on. I do think, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, even Gobert to an extent, they all make cases individually. You don't feel like you're getting a ridiculous value at any of their price points, but they're all in the mix, like in a vacuum to kind of get there. On the Pelicans, do you want to run it back with anyone? There's really not a spot on the Utah Jazz metric sheet or defensively that you want to go out there and pick on, right? Steven Adams offensively kind of limited. I feel like he's the archetype of guys that Rudy Gobert would be great against. So if you're not going to score in the paint, Zion, I think Zion's the guy. I think Zion has to have a big game here, maybe get by like O'Neal and Bojan. And I would say maybe you take some shots on chucking some threes, but they kind of limit the threes as well. So I'm thinking Zion, maybe an Ingram, but Zion's like the only Pelican I feel like I can justify. I can't pay $7K for Lonzo here, right? What do you do with this one, Rod?
I mean, this game again, not one of my favorites on the slate. You have a Utah team that's good defensively, not a team I want to target. I'm not going to play Steven Adams. I'm not high on Zion today at 9K on DK. He can get there for you. I mean, he's been incredibly consistent. 49, 49, 54, 49 his past 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you want to get there, that's fine. Again, not a tier 1 play by any means. Ingram at 8-4. Usually, I like playing those guys together in some spots in kind of higher paced matchups against teams like Washington. But against Utah, this is just a game. This is a game that I don't think I'm going to target as anyone, again, as a really core play. Mike Conley is 6'5". If he gets 33 minutes, this could be a spot for him. I mean, New Orleans is a team I like to attack, so I think there's some meat on the bone there at 6'5". Donovan Mitchell, 8'6". He kind of seems like a Devin Booker play from yesterday that went off.
Actually, I like that comp a lot. All right.
Yeah, so Mitchell at 8'6", he can definitely get you a 50 bomb here. Probably really low owned, so don't mind that. It's like a tier 3. If he fits into your lineup. Rudy Gobert, I'm 7-4. It's a cheap price tag. If he gets 40 here, I wouldn't be shocked. I want 50. He hasn't gotten that done in a while. Again, not a core play. I think a couple of tier 3 guys in Mitchell and Conley, and maybe a click on Gobert just to be different. But I mean, we're gonna get to the games that I like. Like these last 4 games, I'm really into. So the first 3 games that we talked about, I mean, if I just faded those 3 games, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, no warmer fuzzies here. I think Conley, Mitchell, probably drop them in a tier 3 bucket. When they fall, they fall. What's up, Encore? How you doing, bro? Welcome back. Willie Hoops in the chat. Justin Sports says, I banked the showdown for 100K. The feeling's unexplainable. Dude, showdown sweats and swings got to be insane. I've won a couple NFL showdowns. Not 100K, but I've won a couple NFL showdowns. And it's just like, It's wild, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
one
and then
rebound.
when you're on the wrong side, I don't know if you guys remember. There was a Monday Night Football game earlier this year where Steven Gostkowski, Titans kicker, missed like 3 or 4 kicks, and it was just like I was sitting in first place with Gostkowski, and I was like, could you make some of these? So I ended up not winning, and I was just like, in retrospect, if he would have made some, and then they win off of a Gostkowski like long bomb, and I was like, dude, life hates me.
Someone lost a Millie Maker in, I don't know if it's the Super Bowl or the week before that with Tom Brady taking a knee.
Yeah.
He lost $1 million.
Oh,
That was so sick.
That's nuts. How does Conley usually play against Lonzo? Do you have the context? I mean,
No, you just target New Orleans. New Orleans has been giving up a ton of points. Defensively, they're bottom 10 in the league.
Yeah, no, they're very bad. The bottom 3, what?
Bottom 3 in the league. All right, there you go. So, bottom 3 in the league. I want to say they're bad in every position.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to do like a 1v1 like this, but just to kind of paint a picture, 25 or greater, all under 40. But I wouldn't let that sway me. Russ, 100K Russ says Mike Conley's my favorite Utah Jazz player. I think because he's the cheapest, right? With enough usage, he has to be. Can bake in some value acceleration. Is that a word? Acceleration?
Acceleration.
We're doing it.
Yeah, that's
not us.
thing,
Not no. Not like speed up, right? That's acceleration.
Yeah.
But like he excels.
Oh, to excels.
Acceleration.
Yeah. Excel.
We're adding that to the book. I'm still. One day I'm gonna get anomalaic into the dictionary.
I do want to say with Zion. Royce O'Neal has arguably been top 5-3 defender in the league this year. Like, he's been getting it done. So it is obviously Zion, kind of a guy who's matchup proof, but one of the more difficult matchups in that power forward.
Yeah, and Royce has really been kind of their shadow corner. They stick him on the high usage guy from the other side. What up, Paul? Man, if Mr. 100K Russ Miller says Conley's the play, then Conley's the play. God darn it. I'm with that. 4,800 is too low for Bojan. You like some Bojan? 48? Yeah, chuck some threes here. Pelicans really, really bad at guarding the 3, and the Utah Jazz shoot the 3 more than anyone.
That's a value play. I get it. He's cheap.
I can get behind some Bojan. Sure, we get a little bit of pop there. If we get a 30 bomb at under 5K on FanDuel, you're cooking with peanut oil. Gobert should be good for 6x. We like that. Jazz are too balanced. Okay. Jazz are like the much better version of what the Celtics want to be, right?
The Jazz are those Hawks teams from like 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
Denver Nuggets at the Chicago Bulls. Project starting 5 for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, Monte Morris, Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic taking on Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Garrett Temple, Patrick Williams, and Wendell Carter Jr. You got 226.5 total. Visiting Nuggets favored by just 4.5. And the Chicago Bulls present one of the faster paces in basketball and one of the more porous defenses. So it's always the team I want to pick on. And there's really not a name you could pick from the Nuggets that I couldn't see getting there, right? I'm not going to play them all. But Jokic is in the spot to drop 60-plus fantasy points against the Bulls front court. Michael Porter Jr. in a pace-up spot might surprise us. He's 7K on DK, where I'm really wanting knock on a door 40. Will Barton finally had a game where he coexisted with the MPJ. Up until that game, I was like one or the othering in my lineups. And then Jamal Murray pushing it. 8-5 on FanDuel, 8-9. He's had a really strong stretch. If you just like look at the campaign of like the last 10 games, is this a bounce back spot from his down game last time out with 37 against OKC? Do we go back to a 35 plus minute non blowout game where he could be I don't want to say quiet, but he could drop 50 with the best of them. And I would say this. What about Jamal Murray? The case for Jamal Murray over LaMelo, huh? Does that do anything for you?
Definitely not something I'm going to get to too much for sure.
Okay. Just game theory, leverage pivots,
I get the game theory spot. No, I definitely get that. But LaMelo, great spot. Jamal Murray, it's one of those things where, like, if he has a big game, they're
so does Jokic. Him and Jokic have been coexisting.
Him and Jokic.
I think what destroyed the last game is the fact they won by 30. Like if they don't win by 30 and this 31 turns back to 38 minutes, that's an extra like just per minute or greater.
You think Chicago keeps it close?
It was a 4.5 point spread. It's like I think Zach LaVine.
I hear you. I mean, I guess the Jamal Murray Jokic combo is one that probably goes a little overlooked today with some other games on the slate.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, I mean, you can get a combined 100, maybe 120 points on a really good night. Don't hate it, but I think I might like some of these peripheral guys. Michael Porter on FanDuel, I think is a little cheaper. He's 7K on DK. That's a price tag that I probably won't get to, but 30, 37, 35 past 3 games. Don't hate that. Will Barton as a value guy. Compozo's been ruled out because of health issues, so I think Barton might get a bunch.
But I mean, no Compazzo, no Gary Harris, right? Hampton down. Jamal Murray if this game stays competitive, Jamal Murray might get 38 minutes against the Chicago Bulls. Like, how dumb do you feel if you fade that? Like, you look up and he's got 50, 60.
Prime spot. No, I hear you. So he'll probably be a tier 2 guy. 8,900. I'm trying to think how many lineups. Like, if I pair him and Jokic on DraftKings, you're left with 5K.
Right. So Jokic. So again, with if Jokic and Embiid play, they're priced to oblivion, right? They gonna have to give you that 60, 70. But it's such a great spot, and they've been doing it. Yeah. So, but you might be dead and stinking if you just get 50. But yeah, we've seen Murray and Jokic coexist fantasy wise lately, and that's like a correlation people kind of like. No, it's one or the other, right? You can't play them both. Lately, you've been able to play them both, and I think the biggest catalyst for that to happen is the fact that Murray's minutes are just through the roof right now. So I don't mind that combo at all. I also don't feel like I need to handcuff them. I just have them both bullishly in the pool. And it's the Chicago Bulls, man. Let me put some point guards against the Bulls as of late and spit some names, numbers, and minutes. Chris Paul, 50 fantasy points, 35 minutes. John Wall was a point per minute, 27. Ricky Rubio. De'Aaron Fox was 40 and 40. And then when it comes to Jokic, DeAndre Ayton just dropped 40 and a quarter, 34 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns, 46, 31 minutes. I mean, these are all names that we could put Jokic at, if not the same usage, higher, right? He's going to have much higher than Ayton, and then Cat on that team is whatever. But Jokic could trip dub here against the Bulls. So I like those two quite a bit. I think that for me, the tough clicks become the decision and the exposures I put on Will Barton and Michael Porter. Because it's easy to like Will Barton, the thought of Will Barton, but when you put that into practice and you look at what he's done and you look at some of these matchups, 39 and 20, that tells a story. That's your range of outcomes for Will Barton in the last, if you just look at the last 3 games. And we're looking at plus matchups, right? Like the 30 came in probably the worst matchup, Washington and Portland, 9 and 20. So I would be very skittish on what I did with a Barton. I probably put him at the tier 3 and cap him at 15%. Hope it doesn't kill me. And then MPJ, I like the thought of him in a faster paced matchup, but 7K will allow me to walk backwards just a little bit. On the Bulls, Zach LaVine? Question mark. Dramatic pause.
I mean, that's a definite tournament play. I mean, if someone's going to keep this game close, it's going to be Zach LaVine. 9.5, definitely a hefty price tag. Coming off of 3 straight down games, 37, 39, 30 DK, fantasy points, but 21, 35, 24 real points. So scoring's still there. It's just peripherals have dried up a little bit. Tough matchup against Phoenix. Minnesota definitely should have got more there. That 9.5, it's tough to get to Zach LaVine. He wouldn't even be like a tier 3. I think just a guy. If you're game stacking, it's the only real way I'd get to him.
Yeah, I'm trying to get caught up on chat. YouTube, on the YouTube dashboard, they have this like a number rating to gauge chat speed. It's usually sitting at 1 and 2. It's sitting at like 8 right now, and on my screen's just like flying by. Like I'm trying to like get caught up, man. You guys are I love it. I love it. You guys are awake today. So let me see if I can scroll up and stop the thing from auto scrolling here. All right, Anchor says Jokic amazing spot, but I don't think he's needed tonight. Right. So I think Jokic and Embiid, like they're gonna be priced where if I can get those raw points to fit, I'll take it. But like if you just think the pressure of him scoring what he needs to score at that price point, like I get it, like it's fadeable, but I think I put him in the mix, and I really want to isolate strong value plays, strong 5-6K range plays that I can go heavierly invested on, and then we'll spin the Jokic's and the Embiid stuff like that. If Embiid were to get Knicks though, man, that might just by default increase Jokic's ownership, but the matchup's just huge. Lorenzo says Jamal Murray could be that sneaky low on pivot off of LaMelo. Russ, 100K Russ. Jamal Murray actually has a higher usage rate than Jokic by a hair over the last few weeks. It's how they've coexisted. We definitely have seen it. Proof in the pudding. Dozier's going to see more run. Jamal Murray's not worth 8,900 anytime. Don't care. Come on, man. 60 pluses. They're out there. It's the Bulls. Michael Porter's my number one small forward on FanDuel at 6'5". Okay. Exception oration is not Barton fame. Oh, man. Only Bulls for me. Kobe White. Give Garrett Temple for value. No Zach LaVine, huh? No Zach LaVine?
No Zach LaVine.
Okay. All right.
I mean, at that price tag, again, you're going to give up a Dame. You're going to give up...
Right. No, I get it. I'm just...
Yeah.
Usually
Kyrie,
somebody's out there. Usually you're on Zach LaVine. It's like, no, dude.
I know. I am a Zach
LaVine
LaVine guy. It's just, I mean, it's just at today's slate, it's something like Kyrie Irving's cheaper than him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so it's just tough to get to today.
Speaking of Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets at the San Antonio Spurs. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Nets. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Jeff Green. Taking on Dejounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, DeMar DeRozan, Trey Lyles, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? 233.5 is our total 4.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving did not play the last game for the Nets, and that left James Harden and the gang. And they didn't even have Tyler Johnson, bro. It was bad. You guys know the drill with Harden, right? Harden's chipping a chair for 60-plus fantasy points. Go for it. I love the Harden-Kyrie combo. I feel like more often than not, that's going to combine for 110, 120 fantasy points. We do have some cues on the Nets. I think Jeff Green was listed as questionable. If he can't go, you might see DeAndre Jordan start. You might see some minutes there for Claxton, who's been getting a couple extra minutes here and there. And then on the Spurs side, they're going to be without Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Derek White still. LaMarcus Aldridge has been coming off the bench. Trey Lyles has been starting. I'm not really running to play either of those, but I do think if the Nets force like a small ball lineup, maybe Lyles surprises some people. I think his minutes last game was a little bit more than projected. He ended up playing 36 minutes against the Pelicans. If he got 36 minutes against the Nets, like I feel like that's a little aggressive and ambitious. But if he got 25-plus minutes at this price point, considering how porous the Nets have been defensively, especially when they're running a team like this rebound rate, there's a case for Trey Lyles. So I don't mind looking at him. And then DeMar DeRozan and Dejounte Murray, I think, are the two guys that are household favorites right now based on the matchup, right? High total should be a pace-up spot here. And Dejounte Murray has put back-to-back really, really strong games. I think as long as we leave out like a Derek White, somebody like that, even a Keldon Johnson, like there's more peripherals for Dejounte Murray to go out there and get 6-7 rebounds and assists his last couple games, and that's his style of basketball, kind of a stat sheet stuffer. And he's had 3 straight games with 45 or more fantasy points, and I think this is definitely a spot where he can get it done again. I don't think he'll be as trendy as maybe he should be based on so I think in theory we're like, oh, people are gonna point chase that, but are they? Like, you don't think LaMelo Ball's a more fun name for people to go out there and click? And if it is LaMelo, if it is a Lillard, if it is, guys like that, like, will he? Pre-flop, he feels like we could say he's chalky, but after the slate's locked, what is the ownership?
He will be chalk for sure. Like Lillard, I think will be high rolling. LaMelo, if the TJ McConnell, if the Brogdon is out, McConnell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luka's gonna get ownership. I mean, paying 8K for DeJounte Murray is just not something people.
I would even say if Embiid gets rolled out, just the knee jerk
Simmons.
reaction, people go Ben
Yeah.
Simmons. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like Dejounte Murray should be chalk, but I don't know if he actually will be.
He's gonna be a tier 1 for me. I love Murray and DeRozan combo together. I mean, this is still Brooklyn. I mean, I guess their defense has improved. I mean, last game they held Orlando to 92 points. This is San Antonio. I think this game stays close. Going to be running up and down the court here. DeJounte Murray, DeRozan is my favorite combo of the night. Bring it back with Kyrie Irving at 9,100. That's a phenomenal price against San Antonio. Should be an easy 50 spot for him. You have James Harden. Could be the highest score in the slate every single night at 11K. So, I mean, give me some to Harden. Give me Kyrie. San Antonio side, give me Murray. Give me DeRozan. Aldridge got there last game, which is fine, but I'm probably not going to get to him. 23 minutes. He just shot, 5 for 10. Yeah, it seems like he shot well there. Could be just like a 25. But, yeah, those 4 guys, core pieces for me. Harden, more of a tier 2 just because of the price tag. But Murray, DeRozan, Kyrie, tier 1s.
So Aldridge had 10 free throws in that last game.
Yeah. That's fake because he never attacks the basket anymore. He's definitely
that's like more free throws than he's had in like his last 6 games. It's got dirty. I'm kind of with you there. DeRozan, that last game, that was his first game back from his father passing away, and he put up a monster game. And then without Keldon Johnson, Rudy Gay, and Derek White, I think we're putting deep minutes on DDR and Dejounte here, and the Nets will likely force you to play small ball. And I just think DeRozan has a shot. If this game stays competitive, DeRozan has a shot to play 35. I got him at 35 minutes, but I think there's more. So, give me. I'm with that too. I think that's a cool 2v2. Harden, Kyrie, Dejounte, DeRozan is going to strap your lineup for salary.
Oh, you can't play all 4 of them together. I don't think salary wise. You probably have to choose between Kyrie and Harden.
Not at the moment, but yeah.
DraftKings you can't. I haven't seen FanDuel.
So I think the when you get over 10K today, you're making extremely tough decisions because I want to play him for the correlation and just kind of throw a blanket over the fantasy points. But when you start to get to this range, you're really wanting to say that I think this guy scores the most fantasy points on the entire slate. So Harden's definitely a candidate. Jokic, Luka, Embiid without Tobias. If Tobias was in, I probably wouldn't be as bullish on Embiid here. And then Damian Lillard, maybe I'm overvaluing Dame. I just feel like he's a free 50. But is he in the neighborhood
of
where?
But point guards are so strong today. Since point guards is a very deep field, so a 50 might not get it done.
So. The matchup is a little softer where 60 is the range of outcomes, but we need the 60, right? If we're getting 10K plus today, we're probably going to need the 60 to make some noise. So, I don't know. If Jeff Green is out, DeAndre Jordan might get some deeper run. We've seen Bruce Brown pick up extra minutes. Luwalu's also got a Q tag on him. I don't really want to get too crazy with the auxiliary players, supplementary players from the Nets. We'll get caught up on chat here. Before we move on to the next one. Damian says, my boy Kobe White just traded for him in ESPN League. I love his season-long and daily fantasy appeal. I like Kobe. He'll chuck some threes for you, too. Double Murray, cash me out. Jamal and Dejounte, let's go. Josh Senning should be even more steals for Dejounte tonight since Harden gives away a lot. I'm with that. Harden is having his best season holding on to the ball since 2015. So it's easy. So assists correlate with turnovers. It just is what it is. So if you're going to average 11 assists, you're going to have a couple more turnovers because you're just passing the ball some more. So it doesn't necessarily, if somebody's turnover per game is going up, doesn't necessarily mean that they're getting sloppier with the ball, but he's just passing it more. Is Harden overpriced on this slate? I don't think any of the 10K guys are overpriced. It's just don't be results orientated at the end of the night, right? Whoever scores the most scores the most. Harden definitely has the chance to do it. Malik Monk almost 6K up. Dame's dropping 60. I think the matchup for Dame is definitely a 60+ fantasy point potential spot, especially at the house. But he needs it, right? If I play Dame tonight, he's a couple $100 away from Luka and not that far from Harden, where I need him to compete, score within 5 fantasy points margin of those guys. So yeah. What up, Conscious? Lucas dropping 60. He'll put on a show. I'm with that. Anchor says going over PJ Tucker tonight. You're over PJ Tucker? I'm not sure what the question is there. Do you like Bruce Brown in this matchup? So Bruce Brown's really just a guy I play to scoop and score minutes. If we get Green and Luwawu out, I think Bruce Brown's minute projection could exceed 30, and I'll just chip and share that. Joe Harris let the world down that last time out, right, against the Mavs. We thought it would just have to be Harden and Harris. What really happened is they got blown out, and Harris didn't get there. But this could be a decent bounce back spot for Harris under 5K on FanDuel, right? I think if we're gonna mention Bojan Bogdanovic, we at least mention Joe Harris. But those are like risky value plays, right? Harden's another one of my big fades. Just saying you're better. Oh, I'm a better. Okay, play me over PJ Tucker. Yeah. Let's move on to the next game. Cavs at the Houston Rockets. Project starting five for the Cavs: Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Isaac Okoro, Tarin Prince, and Jared Allen. Taking on John Wall, maybe, Victor Oladipo, Daniel House, PJ Tucker, and Justin Patton. I have John Wall at 0 minutes, by the way, so I'm guessing he's closer to out. So John Wall's a rest candidate. Eric Gordon's questionable after last night. This Rockets team just looks like I don't want it. I think Justin Patton is at least interesting. If you're just trying to punt for 20-plus fantasy points to get you some of that salary, for maybe you're trying to get ambitious with your high-end 10K guys. Maybe you want to get two 10K guys. Maybe a guy like Patton pokes you. But, man, this Rockets team, I'm just looking at it for offense. If there's no John Wall and if there's no Eric Gordon and it's just Depot in the gang, like, who scores? It's tough. So I might be down on them. The Rockets were a 2-point favorite, I think I saw, when I put these numbers in the sheet. Like, I would almost argue that I just got the Cavs to win straight up here. And I don't know. Rockets on a back-to-back after just getting smacked last night. I just have very little hope for them. I do like some Cavs, though. I think Jared Allen, this is a spot where Jared Allen could remind you guys that he's been out here dropping 40s and 50s, and he's going against...
You need that. At his price?
You need it, but he could, you can go get it. He's going to go against a Rockets front court that I think we can take advantage of. I think Jonas Valanciunas obviously underwhelmed because of foul trouble, but we've just seen people destroy this Rockets front court for quite some time, especially when PJ Tucker has more of a role at the 5. Justin Patton seems like they're going to slide him into that spot for those minutes. But I still like Jared Allen. I think if we get any type of game where Jared Allen's in a neutral to plus matchup for 30-plus minutes, we get the 40-plus. My soft projections have him at 44 on FanDuel, 42 on DKP or on DK. I'll take that. Tarin Prince and Jetty Osman, they could both play this game. I at least have Tarin Prince in, and Jetty Osman's missed, I think, 1 or 2 games too. So maybe that dilutes the minute rotation for that front court just a little bit more. Really probably impacts Dean Wade the most. But I don't know. I'm still looking at Jared Allen, and I think Darius Garland. Is he out of your budget? Like, he's put together some strong contributions. Him and Colin Sexton getting the minutes, but Darius Garland, I think, has been the name that people have been sleeping on during this little stretch.
Garland was cool. Garland was cool when he was mid-5s, early low 6Ks, and he'd get you 35-plus. Now at 6'9" on DK, I mean, he needs to get you essentially a 40, which is like his upside. Same with Colin Sexton at 7'5", he needs like a 45, which is close to his upside. So, I mean, you're paying for their upside. Not something we like to do, so I'll probably avoid those guys unless I just fall into it. You mentioned Jared Allen, 8,500, DK 79 on FanDuel. So you're paying for him, but he dropped 60 on him last time.
Yeah, he just dropped 60 spot. On the
no. I mean, he's going to be popular too. But yeah, I mean, great spot. You know, Jared Allen, given the minutes, he's going to get it done. So he'll be in the pool. Tier 1 or Tier 2, still up for debate there. On the Houston side, I mean, if Eric Gordon sits, I think in tournaments, a guy like Victor Oladipo is interesting. 7'7". I mean, should play 30-plus minutes here. I think there's some upside for him there at that price. John Wall, 8,300. again, coming off a down game, could he give you 40 plus? Yes.
John
I mean,
Wall,
it's the Cleveland team.
if he played, like he's a rest candidate, may just not play. We've seen
Yeah.
most of the time on these back-to-backs, we see Wall sit one, we see Depot sit one. So Depot sitting last night, probably a good sign that they switched seats today.
Yeah, I mean, so if Eric Gordon and John Wall sit, I don't have a lot of faith on this Houston team. One of them plays with Depot. I think they can keep it close with the Cavs. Yeah, but if both sit, I mean, David Nwamba would be interesting. He could have a big game. We've seen it before. He would need to have 20 plus real life points to keep this game close. Both those guys.
I think Eric Gordon's more valuable in and out than maybe we give him credit
he's
for.
questionable too, right?
Yeah. So if
So if Eric Gordon and John Wall sit, I think Nwamba is would be probably.
How are the Rockets favorited? Is that crazy to like?
People keep disrespecting the Cavs. First, y'all were telling me, "Oh, they're gonna get blown up by the Sixers." I literally tell everyone, "Oh, guys, no." They convinced me, "Oh, you know what? It could blow out." So I reduced my Joel Embiid ownership. Played Cat, didn't work out, and now this.
I don't know, man. I don't. The Rockets just seem like they're not. They don't have scorers. Like they don't. Have scorers.
I mean, John Wall should. He should score 30. He should be like a 30-10 guy with the usage rates and all these guys out. I feel, but I think he still shot 40 last game. John Wall could have a game here. I mean, it's the Cavs. What are the Cavs against point?
Yeah, he has to play first of all.
Yeah. So if he sits, Oladipo, David. I mean, 7-7.
You're trying. I hear you trying. It's not pretty.
I just don't think the Cavs blow out a team.
Right. I understand that. But this Rockets offense is just so rough. But yeah, all right. So this is one of those connect the dots based on news. So if Gordon and Wall both miss, it's Depot and everyone else. So you would put that pressure on Depot to at 7-6, 7-7. Could he get you that 40 plus? He needs it. But I think it's sink or swim mentality on his fantasy points.
I think Nwamba would become my highest known player as value guy.
He's not that value. He's 5K. Like it's not.
Yeah, 4700. Yeah, I mean, he just has 40-point upside. In this matchup, it's an easy matchup.
Sure. Let's get you guys get caught up on the chat. Chat, am I crazy? Like, is it wild that I think the Cavs should be favorited in this one? Or maybe that's just all right. Okoro's going to play 34-35 minutes, whether blowout or not. Yeah, Okoro, I ate some crow in Okoro last late.
Cody Snell Jr.
And he had like 15 in the first quarter and got to 30 plus. Lorenzo says play Darius Garland until 7K. Ankor says I want Osmond news as well. All right, Josh Jennings, are we on Nwaba if Wall is out?
Yes.
I think
if Eric Gordon's out.
Yeah, I think I need two of those guys to feel somewhat comfortable. But yeah. But also Sterling Brown potentially. Is Garland the play if he was cheaper? If he was a little bit cheaper, I feel a little bit stronger. I think my eyes are lit up on the 8K plus range for point guard. It's just so strong that I don't know if I give up those guys to get to like a Garland, right? We're talking LaMelo's, we're talking Damian Lillard, Jamal Murray's, Dejounte Murray's, potentially Ben Simmons if Embiid and Tobias are out. Like I don't think I'm flirting with the mid-price Cavs guard, but I don't think individually like in a vacuum like he's unjustifiable, if that makes sense. Trick bet. It seems a little too good to be true, doesn't it, Rashad? German says I would think no Houston Rocket players were in any winning tournament lineups last night. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think their highest scoring player was 22 fantasy points. I think everybody disrespect the Cavs. Wow. Seemed like Wall's going to play. Only news out of them is Gordon questionable. Yeah, so we only have Wall down as a rest candidate, and you know what that could be anything. Cavs will win, take the points and win. All right, and Tony, the way the odds have been on the Rockets, if Wall and Oladipo are in, they favor them against the most middle of the pack teams. 99.999% Wall is going to be out tonight. All right, if Depot's under 10% ownership, I'll jump on that. I think Depot would be the really sharp stab there because he's another guy that kind of gets lost in the sauce and the beef at the guard position, at least on DraftKings. It's if Wall was out and if Gordon's out, he would have to have a good kind of like the Vucevic argument. Like you would have to have a strong game from Depot, you would think. The Nwaba has been getting the minutes lately. The Rockets quit. Yep, it's crazy. David Nwaba's is fourth in usage on the Rockets. And if there's no Gordon or Wall, Nwaba would be second. Yeah, it's ugly. Like, you don't want to lean on Daniel House, PJ Tucker to win a ball game here. But give me some Jared Allen. And let's move on to the main event before we do that. Wow, we're already at the last game. What a fun, fast-flying stream. Let me get some stuff out the way. Chat, can you guys show me some love? Can you hit that thumbs up button? Yesterday we had like 30, I think, if that. I would love 50's the goal every day. We get 50 thumbs up.
To the 100 days. Get back to the 100. For the 100 people in chat, get to 100.
The 100 came when we had like 250 viewers. I don't know.
Yeah, and while you're liking this stream, go like Jalen Carter's You Ain't the One.
Whoa, buddy.
Whoa. Give it a like.
What's PrizePicks looking like today? You guys, PrizePicks is a lot of fun, man. If you guys haven't tried it out yet, I love it to kind of hedge my my research. I've talked about it's a great way to diversify your spend. Why am I like logged out here? I'm logging on the other screen here. And while we do that, let me get the promo up. If you guys haven't tried PrizePicks, go check them out. PrizePicks.com. You can download the app on your phone. It's essentially prop betting for any sport, but since we're here talking basketball, that's where you can take advantage of players' fantasy point lines, real point lines, assist lines, rebound lines, stuff like that. They allow you to parlay that into two cards or two-leg parlays up to 5-leg parlays, and you guys can get some tournament-like results on a 4-leg parlay. You can, I think, 10x your money. It's fun way to kind of diversify our research. Like today, we talked about how Vooch and Jokic and Embiid and like all those guys could do really, really well. But obviously, we can't play them all, and maybe not as aggressively and bullishly as we want to. So if we still want to put a little action on them, having a good game, we can go to PrizePicks and kind of put some units on them having some decent ball games. So if you guys want to check them out, if you sign up using code GUNDACKER, they will actually match your deposit up to $100 instantly. So $10 to $20, $100 to $200, and you guys go there, put together some cards, man. I had a bunch of you guys in the last week or two DMing me your cards on Twitter. You're kind of excited. It's kind of stress free in terms of waiting on news, but also you could take advantage of the news. I talked yesterday specifically on the stream where I said if Jimmy Butler's out, we haven't seen Bam Adebayo get us less than 4.5 assists. His assist rate goes up percentage-wise. And I took the over in 4.5. He got the 5. It was a sweat. But they adjust a lot slower than the sports books do. So I would also think you could take advantage of that if you just had it tabbed open while we're working on our DFS lineups. If Embiid gets ruled out, they're probably going to have softer lines on Ben Simmons and whatever, and we go take a stab at that much quicker than we can bet it on DK Sportsbook because they just pull stuff up off the board. PrizePicks doesn't do that. So check them out. Great way to diversify our spend and keep it moving. Let's get back. There we go. Let's get back into some action here. You guys also know after this stream, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord talking the slate up. Should be a full fun Monday afternoon gang of people grinding. We only have, I believe, 3 slates until the All-Star break. So we're trying to make these count. And then we're gonna sit around enjoying our break, and next thing you know, we're trying to find out who to play from the rookie sophomore game, which I don't think they're doing, but yeah. Anyone have any favorites betting wise? I think I'm on the Cavs money line. I take PJ Washington until Hayward and Zeller comes back. Yep, real Melo versus LaMelo. We got a battle of the Melos. Hit the like if you love strippers like Lou Will and James Harden. I didn't even plug VIP. Chat, VIP. Go get VIP. If you guys want to lock in until the baseball All-Star break, $200 gets you locked in. You'll get the rest of the NBA season, and then you'll get all the first half of the MLB season, daily access to the spreadsheets, my player pools, my projections, and the 24/7 premium Discord access. Hornets projected starting 5: LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Jalen McDaniels, P.J. Washington, Bismack Biyombo, up against Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Derek Jones Jr., Robert Covington, and they hate us because they ain't us Cantor. Is this the lineup they rolled out last night? Let me look at the matchups. I got this lineup from RotoWire. Sometimes they put out some goofy stuff. So I want to go check out the matchups chart on the Hornets from Fantasy Labs. Yeah, they got McDaniels, Biyombo as the starting lineup. All right, cool. So at 230.5 total, the Portland Trailblazers home favored by 7.5. Giving them a lot of respect here. Catching the Hornets, 9-2 back-to-back, way away from the hizzy. Still likely without Gordon Hayward and Cody Zeller. Both those guys listed as doubtful. And this is going to be a really, really short bench. I got 8 guys projected at 13 or more minutes. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, P.J. Washington, Malik Monk, Miles Bridges. Like, those are the guys I got going nuts for the minutes, right? I think everyone's going to want these guys. I think Terry Rozier still becomes a better FanDuel than DraftKings play. If we look at the Blazers, I think the only team that's been consistently worse than them defensively is the Kings, who the Hornets caught last night. I guess the Pelicans have leapfrogged the Blazers. So if you're going to put 34 minutes of an NBA player against that defensive efficiency, LaMelo Ball, Rozier, PJ, all there. I think PJ Washington is the guy that everyone's going to have deep conversations with. Like, no, I'm not going to play PJ Washington after dropping 60. I think the minutes are just going to be there, right? I think he plays backup center. I think he just plays all the minutes he can handle. I don't need 60. You can give me 36, and I feel like he was a fine play. I definitely think in this matchup, 40-plus is not an unattainable concept. 42 real points, a little anomalic, but Rods, is PJ going to remain a tier 1 for you tonight, or is this the hot stove cash out from the slot machine?
I think just from like a tournament theory play, Terry Rozier should be the highest owned Charlotte guy. Just a poor shooting night. Again, but this is the guy who on most nights is going to chuck the most shots for his team with Devontae Graham and Gordon Hayward out. So I think PJ Washington was a bit of a product of Terry just having a bad night. PJ is not going to take 23 shots again. Still give him, up 12, maybe 15 shots. And at 6'2", still has 40-point upside, maybe close to 50. So still keep him there, but maybe bump it down to a tier 2 just for tournament leverage. But LaMelo, great spot. Again, I think I'll be overweight on Terry today, just as a game theory play. People probably won't click on his name because of the bad night. So give me him. Give me LaMelo. I mean, even Miles Bridges at 4,800. He plays 33 minutes. I like that. Could get you 30-plus there. Don't hate it. Malik Monk. He's 5,500. Took 17 shots last game. Got to 30. I mean, he's at 3 straight games now, 40, 33, 32. He's a guy that's going to chuck quite a bit off the bench. So
I mean, a lot of that's going to be, like, together. So, let's pull up Popcorn Machine. Terry Rozier just didn't shoot the ball last night. Right? We had seen 20-plus shot attempt games out of him. Last night wasn't one of them. Let's pull up the Popcorn Machine on Charlotte and just kind of see where the overlap was. I mean, we're paralysis by analysis, right? They're going to play a lot of overlap. LaMelo Ball probably going to lead the team in minutes, but like Rozier did overlap with Malik Monk a little bit. So maybe those two are eating at each other for shot attempts. Miles Bridges is going to get run. I think Biyombo got 20 minutes last night. That's probably on the high end, it seems like, in terms of what their plans might be, because they only played $122 in the fourth quarter when they were closing out. And it's not that like the Kings are necessarily small either. I think Bagley and Holmes give you enough beef that you'd probably want a body down there. And then I guess PJ just caught fire and they rolled with him. PJ took like a minute break in the second half. So I'm easily running it back with PJ Washington. Him and LaMelo probably are tier 1 handcuff for me, or at least on FanDuel. On DraftKings, LaMelo is 8-7. A little higher responsibility, a little higher need to score that 45 fantasy points, but 7-9 and 6-2 on FanDuel, like that's tier 1 handcuffs for me. And even Rozier at under 7K, but I'm a little less bullish on him just seeing the lack of shot volume last night. But I think day to day, if we normalize that to regression, right? If we're not going to put 40 real points on PJ Washington, there's probably 20 points to go around, and I think Terry Rozier becomes a candidate. So I think the Hornets stack is much more viable on FanDuel. And then on the Portland side, Damian Lillard, can he be the leading scorer fantasy-wise on the slate? I got him at 50, almost 59 DraftKings fantasy points. That's actually pretty nutty. If I go to my player projections tab, I have projections for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. And then, of course, we also have a tab that services for PrizePicks. I got Damian Lillard as the highest scoring player on the slate for my conservative projections at like 2 p.m. Like that's it. Like he's the highest scorer, and he's not the highest priced guy. So is Damian Lillard the guy you have the most of from anyone over 10K, Rods?
Lillard's a guy. I mean, same price as Luka. James Harden is there. I want to say Lillard just because, again, if CJ McCollum was ruled out right now, I think we'd all just, right away tier one Lillard. I mean, CJ's been out a while, and Luka and Lillard hasn't had as many kind of tournament winning games as we think.
So I think we put some context here. So let's do it. Let me pull up Dame Dollar. First of all, he's at the house. We love him at the house. Right? Main event, at home, hosting the Hornets. The last couple games for him, 2 of the last 3 games, really all of them, like back to back at Phoenix, at Denver. That's one of the toughest back-to-backs you can ask for right now. Phoenix is a tough defense, altitude at Denver. Then at the Lakers, it's whatever. He dropped 50. Those are all matchups where I wouldn't necessarily think we're just like, if you got less than 60, I'm whatever. Washington 66, like this is what we're looking for. Washington 66, New Orleans 79. These 57, 60 pluses, like these are comparable defenses to what the Hornets will present today. So I wouldn't necessarily put too much credence in the last 3 games, and I would expect the world out of them here today. But 7.5 point spread. Even if the game got lopsided, we've seen Dame just be out there stepping on people's throats and dropping big points. Enes Kanter on FanDuel, 6,300. I love centers against the Hornets right now. I think he's fine. I think Bagley and Holmes last night were able to give you a point per minute. I'll take a point per minute on FanDuel. I like a Lillard Kanter handcuff. Is it fun to jump in a single entry or really just any, if you're just going to start a lineup? If it's fun to kind of just do the 2-man handcuff correlations from this late hammer. So we'll put like Lillard and LaMelo. And then in that same lineup, you could put PJ and Kanter. And it gives you a nice little puzzle to put together. PJ is 62, Kanter at 6K as well. Kanter, yeah. So if you did that on FanDuel, that's going to give you just about a little less than 6K left per line.
So again, you can even squeeze in like a DeRozan if you really wanted to.
Yeah, we do like some DeRozan. So I kind of like this skeleton here. So I'll probably have a lot of lineups that look like this. I still want those Jamal Murray's, those DeJounte Murray's or stuff like that. But if I'm building some correlated lineups, I love this 2v2 to get some lineups going on FanDuel. That's harder to pull off on DraftKings, by the way. Kanter's $1,000 more. Lillard's the same, but Melo's $1,000 more. And yeah. A lot of Melo versus Melo hype, too. It's fun. I hope there's a moment tonight where Carmelo crosses up LaMelo.
I do think like Carmelo or Gary Trent or Robert Covington. I think one of those 3 probably smashes.
Yeah, we talk about all the time. The Hornets are one of the top 3 teams in terms of giving up points via the 3 ball. Gary Trent will chuck some threes. So I definitely don't think that's a crazy thought that maybe a Gary Trent drives a big tournament night. Cholo says Melo, Kanter, Damo. I'm with that. Encore says think people run them off the court. I think Portland runs them off the court. Charlotte keeps it close. Charlotte's been scrappy, but a lot of their scrappiness did coincide with Gordon Hayward. Like they were scrapping with the Utah Jazz until Hayward got injured, and then they got smoked, and then they beat the Suns.
Yeah.
But yeah, Portland is really, really bad defensively. So it's kind of a mixed match. But at the same time, you got to get a little bit of fatigue factor in your thoughts. But
It's a similar spot to yesterday, it seems like. Like the Kings, Portland's defense is not great. And, I mean, it is a back-to-back, but the Charlotte guys are young, so I'm not going to put too much. If they're an older team, a little more worried about guys like LaMelo, Terry. I mean, they're all in their 20s. BJ, they're all in their, I want to say, even early 20s, not mid-20s, so I'm not too worried about the back-to-back for those guys.
EB says, yo, Gun, when you do your soft projections and you get those that project out to 50-plus points on average, what percentage of the time do they hit? So I don't necessarily focus on how many points necessarily that they're projected for. I mean, yes, that's what projections are, but like a lot of times I'm looking at the ranking, right? Like if I just knew the names that were on the slate, right? Embiid, Jokic, Harden, would I really put Damian Lillard as number one projected fantasy point scorer a lot? No. So the fact that the algorithm does kind of appreciate him in that regard, I'm with that. But for the most part, I don't get over analytical on the 50-plussers if they're all within like 5 points, right? Projections are projections. And once you get a bunch of guys projected 50-plus, if they're all 9.5 to 10.5K, it's really just what happens at the end of the night. Like, and variance falls flat. A guy hits a three, doesn't hit a three. Everyone has projections that look the same. Like, if you compare mine to other sources, there's not a big gap in points. So I just let that steer me in terms of like lineup correlation and exposures. So like if I think Damian Lillard is a top scorer on the slate, I probably want to run it back with somebody from the Hornets. But I also just think I want to focus on a batch of lineups that features Damian Lillard. And then we also I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to drive home right now. Whereas the numbers on projections aren't as important to me as me just putting those guys in my mix. Like I want to. So like if I look at the top here, I got Embiid, Jokic, Harden, Doncic, and Damian Lillard. So if I see Damian Lillard leading the slate in fantasy points, that makes me want to look at that game. And how do I word this, Raj?
I mean, what do you want to word?
I don't know. So let me get back to the question. I feel like I just choked that explanation.
The question out loud again. Yeah.
Wait, is there the 50-plus? Let me get back to the. I lost it. The chat is going so wild. Any love for Derek Jones as a value play? Derek Jones is very volatile. I think in this matchup, you give him 30 minutes, there's a range of outcomes where 25-35 is our window. Erica, when you do your slot projections and you get those that project out to 50-plus points on average, what percentage of the time do they hit? Oh, so the question is how often do they hit 50-plus?
50?
I don't track that necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's relatively average for like every 10K guy. I don't know how often do they hit 50.
Yeah, Josh says Blazers bounce back spot coming off a 4-game losing streak. Russ says, Gun, I'd potentially pump the brakes on Cantor tonight for the Blazers exposure. With Biyombo not getting a ton of run, they could play small with Washington, with PJ at center if they play that. So I would agree with that concept for the Washington Wizards.
Maybe like Cantor even more.
Yeah, right. So you're saying the Hornets would go small, PJ, Miles Bridges, guys like that. I think I wouldn't fully bank on Portland to answer small with small unless they were trailing. Like I think the team that's winning dictates what they're gonna do. But if you got me, Jesus, at that price on FanDuel, I'd probably take 28 minutes of Cantor today, and have them to hit value. Right? James says expecting big game from Gary Trent Jr. Gun. Buddy Hield got me paid last night against the Hornets' lackluster 3-point defense. I'm with that. What do you think is playing the 5 then, Covington? No, I don't know. Could someone help me out? I need to pick between Danny Green, Daniel House, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Dez, what are you doing? No Harry Giles, no Nurkic, no Collins. Yeah, I don't know. Robert Covington could be an interesting pivot to Cantor at Price. His upside of late has been tied to him playing reserve center minutes without Giles. I think that's a sharp take, Russ. Obviously, Russ is on to something, but I don't like. What is your if your worst case scenario on Cantor minute wise? has to be like 27. And at 6K, I might take 27 minutes of Cantor against the Hornets. But I get what you're saying. Like, even right now, I think I only got him at like 32, right? I don't know. Danny Green, especially if Tobias is out, I guess that would happen. Rich, Gunn, Rocco is only projected at 26 on PrizePicks. Your spreadsheet has him at 31. So, big gap right there to take advantage of. That's a 5-point swing. That's huge. So, Rocco, you said Rocco's projected at 26 fantasy points on PrizePicks. Covington, 26, and the projections have Robert Covington at FanDuel scoring 30 and a half. Yeah, I'd take that. So Rocco over on the fantasy point card. I'm with that. Charlotte D's terrible. Yep. Thoughts on this lineup? Lillard, LaMelo Ball, James Harden, Okoro, Holiday. I'm guessing Justin. Garrett Temple, PJ Washington, Rocco, and Cantor. The punts are punts. They're getting to play against one of their heroes. They would ball out with that. If Russ Miller says Covington's an interesting pivot to Cantor, then Covington's an interesting. I like the idea, but I think we learned yesterday we don't necessarily need pivots, man. You just need minutes against the Hornets, right? The entire Kings starting five got there. So under 6K for Rocco, yeah, I'd be a buyer on that on both sides. Absolutely. It's less a fantasy production call or minutes risk more than ownership pivot. Okay. You didn't choke. I picked up what you were putting down. Yeah. Okay. I only play NBA on DraftKings too, so all takes reflect those prices. I think that's fair. I think Cantor at 7.2. I get the trepidation on that, Russ. Absolutely. I think for me, I was more so focused on him being 6'3" on FanDuel. Man. All right. So that's it. Questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the chat. In about 15 minutes, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. I need to get me a hot pocket, bro. I'm getting a little bit dizzy. Guys, don't drink 300 milligrams of caffeine without having a little food in your belly. Get a little blank face. Raj, you got any hot takes before I hang up this call?
Hot takes for today. I don't think it's a hot take, but I think DeJounte Murray and DeRozan combined for 115 DraftKings.
Okay. I also don't think that's a hot take. All right, we got I see Rich in the props and betting channel putting in some work. So good on Rich. If you guys want to check out Rich's stuff, he's pretty sharp. Where's Rich been? Rich, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Rozier is 35 on PrizePicks. Or Street Adams at 31. True Hill crushed yesterday. What helped him was peripherals. Yeah. That's gonna be it for today's stream. Tomorrow, we're gonna be. I just plan on 3 p.m. every day, really. But let me double check tomorrow. Terms of slate size. If you guys are heading out of here catching some other shows, be sure to hit that thumbs up on your way out the door and hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, get notified when I go live. Tomorrow, 2, 4, 6, 7 games. Regular start time, Grizzlies at Wizards, Hawks at Heat, Pistons at Raptors, Clippers at Celtics, Knicks at Spurs, Nuggets at Bucks, and the Suns at the Lakers. So I'm going to be aiming for 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Anyone like Donovan Mitchell versus New Orleans? Yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell probably tier 3 exposure for him against the Pelicans. It's an elite matchup, but everyone on the Jazz has an elite matchup, and you feel like they could balance enough to where everyone's average plays. But Mitchell could pop like Devin Booker yesterday and just be a fantastic play. Murray and Lyles combined for 90. All right. Thoughts on Jalen McDaniels at mid-price on FanDuel Power Forward. He didn't really get a ton of run yesterday, and he started, right? So I probably don't need it to get there. 15 minutes yesterday. If you had that feeling in your bad knee on him getting some more minutes today, go for it. 111 watch. Yeah. So should I play anyone from Cleveland versus Houston? I think Jared Allen is probably my favorite play from that game. I don't have any front end interest on the Rockets. But if Wall were to rest and if Eric Gordon would be out, I think you can look at Victor Oladipo and maybe a David Nwaba as somebody to pick up some scoring, and then chipping a chair on the price on Justin Patton. Maybe he just falls into enough peripherals, but other than that, nothing to write home about. That's going to do it, though. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you guys are on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker. DMs are open if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Go grab a VIP pass. Remember, we are accepting Top Shot as payment. So if you guys want to lock in, you can hit me up on Twitter if you want to make a deal. Otherwise, go to rundfs.com. Make yourself an account. VIP passes. I'll be in the VIP Discord voice chat in about 15 minutes. I hope you guys absolutely crush it tonight, and I hope you join me tomorrow. As always, I appreciate you making part of your day. I messed that up. I appreciate you making part of my day, part of your day. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.